Hello, you alright? Got another classic football shirts interview for you. And this time it's Arsenal cult hero, a member of the 1989 Anfield title winning team. It's Perry Groves. Hi Perry, nice to meet you.
How's it going?
Thanks for coming up to Manchester. We'll get straight into it. What was the first shirt that you had when you was a kid?
I can remember for some random reason. It's a Bayern Munich shirt. My dad got it obviously cheap from some shop somewhere.
Yeah.
So I had a Bayern Munich one. The first kit that I wore, playing for an actual associated football team, when Cornwall Dynamo's under 10s, was Birmingham City kit.
All
Yeah,
right.
so one of the founders of Cornwall Dynamos was a Birmingham City fan. So it was the old blue with the
White
white
down the
stripe.
middle,
Yeah,
yeah.
so lucky enough they presented it to me when I was about 10 years ago. So I've actually got the original
Yeah.
little 6-year-old shirt. Yeah, so
That's
Birmingham,
amazing.
that holds.
So were you into football shirts as a kid? Did you, if you got Bayern Munich, that's pretty obscure to get hold of. Like, were you interested in football shirts and designs?
I think when you follow football, obviously Match of the Day was the massive thing, and they were pretty plain then. There was no advertising on the front.
Yeah.
They were just, which again, I think because of my age, that's what gives you a warm feeling, like a feeling of nostalgia and like different memories. But I was massive into Subbuteo as well. So
Yeah.
all the little teams in the little green boxes, they all had obviously the old fashioned kits in as well. So so I used to obviously line my little men up and have pretty obscure ones, which was pretty cool.
And who was your hero growing up?
Liam Brady was, because my dad's a massive gooner. My dad's Uncle Vic was captain of Arsenal in the mid-50s.
I was going to say, did he let you play in the back garden with any of his old shirts?
No. Yeah, so he was captain.
Yeah.
They used to go and watch that. So all my family are gooners. So obviously, like my favourite shirt was obviously the old Arsenal, just the red and white, white sleeves, like red torso, whatever. And then obviously the away kit was the blue and yellow. So that had a special significance for me. And then as I got a little bit older, Manchester United I took an interest in because they had two wingers, Gordon Hill and Steve Coppell.
Yeah.
And their white kit, I quite like the Man United.
What, like
kit.
Admiral?
That's it, yeah. And then Arsenal beat them 3-2 in the 1979 FA Cup finals, and that was that they could do one then. So I was always been a gooner, and always will be a gooner, But when you're a kid, if a team starts winning, then you have a little bit.
Keep an eye on them.
Yeah, the other team, but then Alan Sunderland scored his goal with his own perm, and that was it.
Man United in the bin.
Yeah, see you later.
So you went on to spend 6 years at Arsenal. Obviously, it must be like a dream to play for the team you supported growing up. What was your favourite shirt that you wore for the Gunners?
It'd have to be the 1989.
I was going to say, I've prepared it especially.
That looks like it's been preempted, doesn't it? But it wasn't.
I read your mind. I mean,
is that
it wasn't 89.
subliminal? Is that what you put it in? That's why you put it there. So it's in,
Yeah.
No, because of the memories and what it signifies.
Yeah.
And even like me, I say people, I wasn't quite good enough to play for England. I was like the next sort of rung down. You have when I played, you had like old first division, decent first division players, good players. Then you had international players, and I think even if I would have been good enough to play international football, it wouldn't meant as much as wearing an Arsenal shirt. Because when I signed, I come from Colchester, and again that was like the old blue and white.
There were some
strip.
good kits there, like Adidas and then Lecoq Sportif.
The Lecoq, Sportif, exactly. And then we had our first kits. What I remember was Royal London Insurance, which then you think, I've got a sponsored, not me personally, but the team we've got sponsors on. So for me, going from Colchester to Arsenal, and then even my dad, I thought I was going to Crystal Palace, which is weird because I loved their kit with the stripes.
Yeah.
Steve Copp was manager, and they tapped me up about 2-3 weeks before, and then going to Highbury, my advisor said we're going to meet George Graham on September the 4th, 1986, so on Thursday, and I thought he wanted me up. I was gooner, but then signing for them was my good God, because I went from Colchester's best player then to bottom rung again, work your way in. You have to prove yourself, country yokel coming from Colchester to Arsenal.
Yeah.
But then George Graham said, look, you ain't going to get in the team for at least like a year. You're too raw, you got pace, you got desire. That was his big thing, what he wanted to put in the team with the younger players, and then getting players like Lee Dixon, Alan Smith, Nigel Winterburn, Steve Bold, myself from the lower leagues. Then after a month, Graham Rix got injured. And he asked me, I'd always played right wing, always. Played centre midfield when I made my debut for coach, but then because I was quick, they moved me to right wing. Yeah. And then he asked me, he said, can you play left wing? I went, yeah, of course, I've never played there in my life. So just lie, you go, yeah, of course I'll play goal if you want me to. But then putting on, like the first time I ever put on the Arsenal shirt, and every time I put it on, it was meant more than if I played for England.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's special to play for your country, but when the club's been ingrained in you from when you're a kid, and your family, so my dad's Uncle Vic was captain in the 50s, and it's all the way through.
It must be very special.
Yeah, it just meant more. And you know, these days you see players kissing the badge and doing all that, and then 6 months later they've gone to someone else and they kiss the badge. And like Robbie Keane's had like 15 favourite teams as a school one. He said, I've always wanted to play for Inter Milan, always wanted to play for Wolves. Go, all right, Robbie, or whatever. But so I had a.
But 1989, that night, you know, wow, what was the emotion like? So in the dressing room afterwards, I mean, it must have been incredible.
Yeah, it was. Because we had to win by 2 clear goals to win the first title for 18 years, and back then, again, Liverpool, they had some like iconic kits as well.
Yeah.
And they were the best team, although we weren't in Europe because of the Heysel Stadium disaster. You know, all English clubs were banned, but Liverpool were the best team in Europe by me. You went to Anfield and it was, are you going to get 3 or 4 touches? That's how good they were. And on that night, I explained to people how good Liverpool were even when we played, and Peter Beardsley was sub. So that just shows you how good Liverpool were. You know, he came on. And no one expects us to win. We thought we could win. We'd drawn 1-1 earlier in the season, and we should have beaten 3 or 4-1 in the League Cup. And Dave Rocastle scored a great goal, top corner. And I think that gave us the belief that we could actually get a result there. But I think the pressure was taken off because we had to win by 2 clear goals, and that never happened, you know. So, and it just, I ended up, especially when Tomo scored the winning goal, like the 92nd minute, I was on the right wing. I made the run over to the whole back 4 followed me because I knew where the top was. So I dragged Alan Hansen away, and then I remember being on the right wing and then turning round and watch Tomo go through, because it goes from Kevin Richardson, robs John Barnes in the corner, where he should have booted it or kept it in the corner. These days he'd got hammered if he'd have done what he did then. Then Richo puts it to Lukey had Dicko to Alan Smith, he loads up Tomo, I make the run. And then as Michael Thompson's running through, then I turn round and look over to my left because I'm on the right wing, and everything was happening in slow motion. Everything just slowed down completely, and it looked like, even now, it looks like Tomo's going to get tackled. You've got Ray Houghton running from behind him, Steve Nichols coming in, and then Hansen's going to get him. Bruce Grobby just stands up, and all the players in their head, and I ain't going to swear obviously on camera, but shoot, Tomo, shoot. And it goes closer and closer, and he waits and waits, and Bruce Grobby's day thinks that he had him because he stood quite, late.
Yeah.
And he just leant over, and Tomo flicked it over him. And then it seemed to take a turn. You think, oh my good God, he scored. Oh my God. So then I was a fan on the pitch with a kit on, watching it all happen. And then the Arsenal fans were over in the far right-hand corner where he scored. They're in the right-hand corner there. So I just ran to that. If my media training was a bit better, I'd have got in more photos. I should have run where Mickey Thomas was and get more. But I just thought, and the fans were open, so I just ran straight. Nigel Winburn runs round the back of the goal, and he runs straight to the fans. Tomo does his caterpillar thing. Martinez goes to him, and I run straight to the fans. And for that, to be an Arsenal fan on the pitch at that time was like, oh my good God.
Doesn't get any better.
It doesn't, yeah. And then afterwards, you don't realise. You realise you've won the title first time for 18 years. We won the Littlewoods Cup in '87, which we'll probably talk about again against Liverpool. That was our first trophy for 7. But winning the title, we hadn't won it since, say, like 1970, 71 with a double winning title, which was good. And then after the game, we're sitting in the dressing room. And to be fair to Liverpool players, a lot of them showed a lot of class. They came in, knocked on the door and said, well played. But they'd won it 4 or 5 times, you know what I mean? So they're like, right, you can have this one.
Yeah.
And they said, congrats. And we sort of sat there, everybody's having a drink. And I just said to Bowley and Merce, who are like my massive mates, we used to go out drinking together and I said, do you know what? I said, we ain't realised now, we've got our own little place now in Arsenal's history. Winning the title. Because all the talk was about 70-71, you're not as good as that. Every Arsenal team wasn't as good as that team. Quite rightly, they had them. Said, no, he said, it's about us. I said, we've made our little mark. We didn't realise quite the enormity of it. Do you know what I mean? They say about the Aguero, Man City, that. It's nowhere near, and I know I'm biased, but you got the 2 teams playing each other.
Yeah.
One team's going for the double because they've won the FA Cup. We're 3 points behind and have to win by 2 clear goals. And people forget, we didn't win on goal difference, we won it on goals scored that year. So a lot of people say about boring Arsenal. I'm like, whoa, we won it by scoring more goals. Liverpool had been 18 points behind. Do you know what I mean? And with the emotion, obviously, is the tragedy of the Hillsborough disaster. So there hadn't been a game that season. The player had been suspended for 2 weeks, and it powers into you think, well, football's not that important really.
Yeah.
But then life have to go on, and we go there, and the cops stayed. They bless them. They stayed and applauded us, for winning it. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, so it's quite iconic.
Were you allowed to keep your kit from that night?
Yeah,
then?
that's the only other time these days you see them change shirts after pre-season friendly. If we did that, our kit man would punch us in the face. Tony Donners, who's top man, you've never ever changed kits at the end of games. The only time you could do it was if you was in a cup final, you had one kit to keep, one to swap, and if we played France in an international game at Highbury, so I was allowed to keep swap the shirts then.
Got that in the bag.
Oh right, okay, right, yeah. I've got Laurent Blanc's somewhere, but I don't know where it is. Yeah, it's up in the loft or whatever. But and then that was it. And
but from that night,
we had to keep our shirts. Yeah, we had our shirts.
So I prepared a kit bag of memories for you.
Right.
We'll start off 1987 Little Woods Cup final.
What a shirt that is.
You set up Charlie Nicholas for the winner.
Yeah, I got him a 2-year contract, Charlie, and he never thanked me for that because it looked like he was on his way out. And obviously, he scored probably 2 of the scruffiest goals, but it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? And again, that was shit. Leeds. I know the League Cup is a little bit dried at the minute, it's not being that important, but
especially when the teams weren't in Europe.
Yeah, weren't in Europe, exactly. So you can only win the League, FA Cup or League Cup. And playing against Liverpool, 92,000 at Wembley, massive game for it because we were a big club and we were a massive club, but we haven't been that successful, pretty average. Yeah. And then playing a major cup final, the beginning of that season, I'd started off playing for Colchester United in the old 4th Division. My last game was Exeter in front of 1,600, and then played in the first semi-final against Spurs. We lost 1-0. Got injured. Didn't play in the 2 at White Hart Lane, the semis, when we beat them 2-1, 2-1. And then it was a choice. That was the first year that there was 2 subs used. It was an experiment. I mean, it seems ridiculous now, doesn't it?
It does.
7 subs now, but so.
You came on second half.
Second half, I think it was about 20 minutes ago, but it wasn't nailed on that I was going to be on the bench. It because Ian Allenson had scored in the semi-final, and he was a good mate of mine from Colchester. Between me and him, obviously Michael Thomas was the other sub because he could play at the back or in midfield, and then wanted a forward. And I got a nod in front of Ian, one of my best mates at the time. That's how tough it would be. And then it was sort of 20 minutes to go, about 20 minutes to go, and it was red hot, and I was a runner. I could run around, and the gaffer just said, "Right, Grovesy, I want you running in the channels. They look like they're breathing out their backsides." And me and Kenny Dalglish come on at exactly the same time. So you got a massive football icon, one of the legends, and Billy Nobody from Colchester coming on. And
but you set a goal up.
Yeah, Kenny Sansom hoofed it down the left. He reckons it was a pass, but I went, no, it was just a clearance where you boot it. So I remember making a run in that left-hand channel, and as the ball was played down the touchline, you get a feeling, and I could feel. I didn't know what player it was, but I knew that a player was coming in. And I knew that I knew he was going to slide. It was Gary Gillespie. I knew he was going to slide. So as he slid in, I just flicked it and hurdled him, and then cut in to the right-hand corner of the box. And if it had been on the right-hand side, I'd have shot because I was right-footed. But on the left-hand side, it was a swing, and I'm thinking. And then again, I just saw Charlie unmarked inside me, and I thought, well, I'll roll it to him. So I rolled it to him. He hit it the first time, and it took about 2 or 3 deflections. I think it was wrong foot. Again, all the guy, it seemed like slow motion. It just trickled in, and then it was, oh my good God! And all my family were behind that goal. There was about 50 of them come up from Colchester on a coach and whatever.
Yeah.
And then.
Did you swap shirts then after that one?
Yeah, I had. Again, you get one to keep and one to swap. And back in those days, you did number for number.
Yeah.
And you didn't afterwards. We just got a big bag of shirts that Liverpool threw in because they.
Oh, so you didn't swap with the opposition player, just.
But we went 12 for 12. So, Kenny Dalglish. So I got his. I got his. Really. He's got mine up on the wall somewhere because it was that big a shirt for Nano's. So I got his. And it had a little grass mark on it, and I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, I think that might have been sponsored by Candy. I might be wrong.
I think 87. It'd be Crown Paint.
Crown Paint, yeah, you're right. Crown Paint, yeah. And so that was the white one, the white with the red. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I had that, and again at the time I just put it in a bin bag somewhere, and so. Yeah. But I had mine I had my worn one, what I wore, and then I gave him like the spare, because I thought, no, you're not having the proper one that I wore. I'm keeping that.
So there was the worn one that you
yeah, I
but you got his worn one.
Yeah,
so.
but so he probably washed his car with my yeah, whatever. But that was the first time Ian Rush had scored, and Liverpool lost, and he was off obviously to Italy. And people asked, and they go, oh, I think it was something like 148, something like that, games that he'd scored in and never lost. They said, oh, you must have thought when he scored that was it. And you think, no, you don't think of that. You're playing it, you're 1-0 down, you don't go, oh God, he scored, so we ain't winning.
Yeah.
You just want to get yourself back into the game, yeah. So, yeah, that was so at the beginning of that season, I'm watching Kenny Sansom play against Argentina for England in the World Cup. And then fast forward like 9 months, and then he's my captain, leading me out of Wembley in front of 90. So that's how quickly football can change. Yeah. So and again, getting the Littles Cup, we got replica Littles Cup, being part of a team that won a mate, and trust me, that was a major trophy for them. And that gave the Arsenal fans the belief that we're back in the big time. We can, sort of battle against the top teams now. And again, beating Liverpool in the final. Again, they were the best team around, so it had added significance, which is pretty cool.
So next out the bag is the jacket from that game. So did you? I mean, for me, that's a really cool design. Did you at the time think this is pretty good or
no? It's looking. It's all Arsenal's colour, which is great.
Yeah.
And then again, the big thing that I love is that makes it, because obviously you can buy tracksuits, but that makes it even more special. Yeah, like and especially winning. So then that makes it brilliant. Do you know what I mean? But that one you got on, I could burn that. That one,
obviously this is the year after
1988.
Exactly. Same design, but well, if you could burn this, you might be burning what I'm about to pull out of the bag next, which is the Luton shirt. I mean, that was obviously...
That was probably the worst, I reckon the worst time in football that I've ever had, that game. Because when you lose at Wembley, it's rubbish, honestly. It's that. And I blame Nigel Winterburn, really, because he missed a penalty at 2-1 up. No, we laugh about that. But I'd had an absolute stinker. And I think Steve Foster was their centre-half with... It might be Mal Donaghy, I think.
Yeah, Tim Breaker.
Tim Breaker was right back. Yeah. And Ashley Grimes, maybe.
Yeah.
And the gaffer just said, like, you got to run them again, because you got to get in behind them. And I've been playing well that season, so I started that game.
But you were number 10 in that game. I mean, number 10's my favourite number.
Right.
I mean, to wear number 10 at Wembley, must be.
But 10, I must admit,
that not your favourite?
I wasn't the playmaker 10. Yeah, it wasn't the free roll 10. It was like you played up front 9 and 10 with the two strikers.
Yeah.
And
but did you have a favourite number that you
7 probably? Yeah, because I was right. I started off as I wanted to be. I was always an 8, like the old inside right, because I was a midfield player when I started.
Yeah.
And then obviously when I played for Colchester, I was 7, because then it just 1 to 11. So if you're right winger, you're 7. Left winger, you play 11. So 7, but like I was just say like a good sort of first division player. So you didn't have a choice. You go, all right, you're not going to go. Well, Dave Rocastle was always 7.
Yeah.
Unless he played, I played, but yeah. So we're in the 10, and I had a complete shock. About 6, I've had a nightmare in the first half, and we 1-0 down. And at half time, I remember Gaffer coming in and going through everybody. You're not holding the ball up. You're not doing this. You're not getting close enough. I got away with this. And he came in, he said, God knows what you're up to. You got 10 minutes. You don't liven yourself up and start getting behind me in 10 minutes. And I think I got the hook after about, from what I can remember, probably about 55 minutes or 60 minutes like that.
Yeah.
I remember Alan Smith, as I walked off, and we won. It's a long walk off, and Alan Smith went, Grovesy, limp off. They'll think you're injured. so you go from the high of 87
to the
feeling best to that low, but then sitting on the bench watching the game, thinking, oh God, this is rubbish.
But do you think it made a difference though? I mean, obviously won it in 87, lost it in 88, league title 89. Did losing a game like this make that squad more hungry, do you think?
I don't know if it makes you disappointed. You don't want to go through that again. Do you know what I mean? That, the highs of doing 15 laps of honour in 87, because you don't want to leave the place, to the lows of getting beaten by Luton. And no disrespect to Luton, we were massive favourites. Not that we were complacent, but we had nothing to lose the year before, but we had it all to lose in that game. But then we were 1-0 down, then we go 2-1 up, and then we get the penalty, and I'm sitting on the bench thinking, do you know what, I've had a stinker, but I'll get another trophy, and I've started this one. And people forget, if we'd have won the Liverpool Cup, people forget how badly you played. Do you know what I mean? You think, I've got 2 winners, and then obviously getting beat and you just think, and Andy Dibble having like the game of his life. To be fair to me, he was brilliant. And then I remember like losing 3-2, and there was one change made for the next game on this following Saturday. I think it was Sheffield Wednesday away. I might be wrong, and it was me. I was the only one who did it, so it was my fault obviously. So I was the one who was left out, and that I got David Priest's because I think he was 10 for them.
Yeah.
For Lou, to bless him, he's like a brilliant player, left-footed, but he's no longer with us. But again, it was just like number for number.
Yeah.
So and it's no disrespect, but the shirt didn't mean because we got beat, so it doesn't have that significance. He just had bad memories. Yeah. So.
And I mean, Arsenal, they're known for the captain deciding whether you wear short sleeves or long sleeves. So. Did you prefer short sleeves or long sleeves? Do you know what? Some players have preference.
I've got to admit, I didn't really think about it. I think I was just pleased to be in the team. Do you know what I mean? I was like, but you're right, yeah, it's an old, probably 80, 90-year-old position where on the morning of the game, the captain decides what kit you're going to wear, and you all wear the same kit. You never see an Arsenal team 5 long, 5 short, 6 4 7 3 outfield players obviously, and it's all about team spirit and everybody being in it together and fighting for the same cause. And I like it. I like traditions like that. That's what makes Arsenal a bit different. I think it's pretty good.
Nobody complained then it was
chucking
it down but it got to December and the captain's like playing.
Silly Rodders, Tony Adams, like he was like, we're going up north, we're going to show them like short sleeve shirts. We're like that. I was shut up, brothers. Just give us like long sleeves. You know what I mean? So there's never, again, the way the football's changed. There was never any undershirts. You know what they wear now. I think a couple of lads like Phil Walcott, if it's short sleeve, he wears like a white under, and it looks like he's wearing, and I don't like that. I must admit, I know it's a modern game, but I'm like, no, everybody wears the same. We're Arsenal. Everybody wears the same shirt and looks the same when you go out.
Obviously, the short shorts in the 80s as well. You can't imagine players playing in shorts that short.
No, I think it's really weird, isn't it? But we used to have short shorts, but quite baggy shirts. Yeah. And now it's the other way around. It's quite baggy shorts and skin tight shirt. Look at Alexis Sanchez. He looks like his shirt's been like sprayed on, didn't it? Like he's like his 6-pack. I couldn't get away with that. But so it sort of spun round, and it was weird because again, Tony Donnelly, our kit man, if there was like 36s, 34s, 32s, and he'd actually just write it in there, and in the shirts as well, in the label on the back, he'd just put out green, M for medium, obviously L for large, and XL for extra large. So you knew. He said, "What do you want?" And you'd have the choice of your shirts, and obviously the size of your shorts is up to you. So, I think mine was vanity. I was like big fat backside, size 36, and squeeze into 34. So that's why you get the horrendous. They're quite obscene, aren't they, when you look at them now?
Yeah.
It's not good.
It's bizarre when you look back, but I mean, that was the time. And I'm talking about.
No, you're not doing it again.
I mean, I'm not going to mention. I'm not going to mention Wrexham. I mean, I'm talking about.
Well, that's all I see. That's all that means is Wrexham, because obviously we played him in the third round of the FA Cup, and we were league champions, reigning champions, and they were bottom of the 4th division, I think. And then we played away at the racecourse ground, and it was pouring down with rain. It was maddy pitch, and I was on the bench again, and we should have been, we 1-0 up, and we should have been 8 up at half time. We absolutely battered them. And then I must have been a difference because he put me on with 20 minutes to go. We 1-0 up and we lost 2-1. I can remember being in the wall actually, and Mickey Thomas had just come out of nick, I think. He might have been still tagged or something like that. And I remember being in the wall and him taking a free kick left footed, and I just went like that. I didn't duck, I just went sort of moved my head and it whistled past my ear, and you thought, flipping that's got a chance. And it lands in the top corner, so that's 1-1, and then their crowd's up. And then Steve Watkins, I think you know him, was a scrappy goal, they go to anything like that. And then we had Jimmy Carter had a perfectly good goal disallowed for offside. And you remember just the low thinking, oh my God, this is one of the biggest shocks ever in not Arsenal's FA Cup history. It got up in the top 5, you know, them 92nd, us champions. And it weren't because we had bad attitude, and it weren't because we underestimated them. Sometimes you just faked. It's a kit, yeah, exactly. The kit, me being ginger as well, ain't a good look with that kit. Do you know what I mean? I looked like a court jester when I was wearing that.
I mean, the kit's now known as the bruised banana.
Right. But actually, looking at it now, I think it's all right.
Yeah.
At the time, it got battered.
But so when that lands in the dressing room and it's like, lads, put this on.
Yeah, I thought it just start laughing. Think that's not, because again, I'm old traditionalist looking back to not even this day, just the plain Arsenal blue and white one, like the FA Cup final in 1971.
Yeah.
Just the blue and yellow with the little FA Cup on it, and that's it. No advertising, no stripes, nothing, no
Not
sponsors
this.
and that. But whoever did design it was either colourblind or brilliant, because that now has become quite an iconic shirt. Even
We're
though it's
still
got,
talking about it.
yeah, even though it's bad memories, you see a lot of Arsenal fans now wearing it. It's like a badge of honour.
Yeah.
You know? But for me, it's like, and I remember coming in the dressing room, and Wrighty wound him out. It was Wrighty's fault actually, because he was he was cup tied. He didn't play or injured. We won it up half time, and we battered him. And he was banging on the Wrexham dressing room. Come on, you give us a game. You're useless. We're back. Give us no. You're not getting beat 2-1. George Graham came in afterwards, and he didn't rock us or anything. He just went. Anyway, and he always used to polish his shoes, so he always, because he's always very smart, like, you know, very dapper, like, so he used to he's got mud from the gravel on the side of the track, you know, on the side of the pitch, so he polished his, he went, right, you lot are going to get in the papers tomorrow. He said, get ready for it, get your tin hats on, get a shower, let's get on the coach, let's go. So there's no rollickings, no tea, because he knew that sometimes fate, especially in the FA Cup, fate plays a massive difference, huge. It makes a massive difference, and that's what it was. That was just one of those days where, we could have beaten. It should have been 10-2. Honestly, it was, the gap was that big, and then they got a bit of momentum, and then the crowd get up, and it come, and you just think, oh God, I've been just part of like. And I wanted at that time, I was in the team, and I wanted to leave, and I pretended I had a bad back, so I couldn't get cup tied. But he sussed it when you go on, you're on the bench, and that was one horrendous coach journey home. That was the longest coach journey in the world.
I'm sorry for bringing the back.
Yeah, so that's two. Anything else?
Oh, well, different times. You mentioned it earlier. I mean, beating France at Highbury.
Yeah,
That's a bizarre. You don't normally get. You know, club teams playing national teams.
That was before the World Cup.
That was on Valentine's Day as well.
Yes,
so you get away with that one.
Yeah, I got Laurent Blanc's actually for that. Well, so he was desperate for mine, obviously, because he's like. But I can remember I made the second goal. I think Martinez scored, and I ran down the right wing. It was probably about 60 yards. Nicked the ball and just kept running, and then crossed it, and Azy scored. And that, again, as you said, that was quite weird because club teams didn't play against national teams, and they were a good side at the time as well.
Yeah, they had some star players who like Jean-Pierre Papin.
Papin's, I'm not sure if was Tigana. No, Tigana really played. I'm not sure.
Platini was a manager.
Exactly. Yeah, and that would make quite big. That was a friendly. That made quite big headline, quite big news. Because we beat them 2-0, and we could have beaten 3 or 4. They wasn't used. It's weird. We were a club side, a very good club side, and pressed like, you know, the pace of the English First Division, press and go. And international football's like more passing and technique, and we completely just like battered them really, just physically. They couldn't hand it. Yeah, so. But that's I've got Laurent Blanc's one for that one, yeah.
Nice. I mean, obviously it must be disappointing to have missed out on all the European football. I mean, you would have had, you'd have been in UEFA Cup and European Cup, before then. But you did play in the European Cup.
Is that Benfica?
Yeah.
It's another one. Cheers, thanks for that. Is there any more? We can have some good ones. We have like 8 bad ones and like 1 good one.
Benfica, but it was a taste of European Cup action.
Yeah, we played.
Obviously,
Austria.
Lost, but
Austria Vienna in the first, because again it was the old home and away, just 2 legs, no group stages or anything like that. So we beat Austria Vienna 6-1 at home, I think, and then we lost. But it was already we played them away. So I've got an Austria Vienna shirt. Because you're allowed to swap in Europe. And then we got drawn against Benfica, drew 1-1 in the Stadium of Light, and got a really good result there because they were a big side, good side at the time.
Yeah.
And got back to Highbury, and it was a real vibrant side. I mean, it was 1-1 going into extra time. And in the papers the next day, we got absolutely battered that we were naive and English football is a million miles behind, our counterparts in Europe. And what we do, in English football, every time you've got the ball, the crowd expects you to go forward and score. That's just our culture. And they were just very calm. But 1-0 Rodgers, Tony Adams missed a chance from about 2 inches, hit the post. And then I think the lad's name was Asiasis, got 2. He was a Brazilian playing for him, I think. Yeah,
he went on to play for Coventry.
Oh, right, okay, yeah, but he scored 2 that night, and one of them was a brilliant individual goal. But they hit us on the counter-attack, they just hit us on the break. And we were just naive, because we hadn't played it, we didn't know how to play in Europe. Do you know what I mean? And it took English clubs quite a while to get back to used to how to play European games.
Last but not least, got a Southampton shirt.
You are winding me up now.
Groves number 17 on the back. You know, the only shirt that from your career that would have your name on the back.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, you didn't get to wear it.
Never played with name on. Yeah, I got injured. So that was the first season, which would be 93-94 season, where you had squad numbers and your name on the back.
Yeah.
And I signed in, I think it was September of 92, and then I was a complete $750,000. They signed myself, Kerry Dixon, Dave Speedy, and Ken Moncal at the same time within about 2 or 3 weeks, because Alan Shearer had gone to Blackburn for about £3.5 million.
Yeah.
So on paper, they were for a good side because we were all established players. You know, going to Southampton, I wanted to play regularly, and try and establish myself. And I got injured, snapped my Achilles tendon after 15 games. Never played again, so I was a waste of money. Kerry Dixon couldn't hit Cal's backside with a banjo. He was a waste of money. Didn't score any goals. David Speedy wanted to beat everyone up. He was a bit spiky, so he was a waste of money. But Ken Moncal out of those four was good. And they gave me. You can see if you hold it up again, the size of it.
Yeah, it's massive.
I wasn't honestly. I might fit me now.
Pony.
That was it. Yeah, and I think Draper. I'm not sure if Draper tools were before that or after. They used to be.
It was before that Draper.
Dimplex,
yeah, you wore Admiral Draper.
That's it. But that one, obviously, was never going to be worn because that's like Giacomo size, isn't it? It's been huge. So
it's only an XL. I mean, in modern day, it's a 3XL.
So and obviously squad number. I think Tiz was 7. I think his squad number was 7. He's like their god. So that's why they gave me 17.
Yeah.
And at that time, they didn't think that I wasn't going to get back in the side, but it just shows I was a bit of an afterthought with the size of the shirt that they go. So that was never worn in anger ever. So I had a squad number and I had my name on the back, but I never played with my name on my back. So again, that's just the eras of Premier League, to old First Division stuff. Yeah, I didn't realise as well, because the Premier League coming in obviously 92, and I didn't think that I played in the Premier League, but I did for Southampton. But I got 2 goals, so £375,000 a goal. That's not that bad, is it really? It's a waste of money, exactly. And I always say to Southampton fans, because I loved living in the area, but I didn't feel part, and I still don't feel part of Southampton because I didn't play. Do you know what I mean? My allegiance is culture, because I played 150 games. Arsenal being a gooner, over 200 games. So I see them as my 2 clubs, and I've got no affinity with Southampton because it was just, I got injured. It was just a bad. People were lovely, area was lovely, but I didn't contribute. I didn't feel like I gave Southampton anything. And the fans are quite good. They give me. I say, look, I didn't mean to snap my Achilles tendon twice.
Well,
I didn't want to do it. And you don't want to be seen as a waste of money, but I was, because I didn't give them anything. If you think Arsenal, they bought me for 75,000. So the value they got out of me for 75,000 was, and they sold me for 750, which is 10 times, which is good. But I was a complete waste of money for Southampton.
So what are you doing with yourself now then after football?
I get paid to talk rubbish on the radio, like punditry. Exactly. You can always turn it off. So I do talk sport, which I'm privileged to do because I had 8 years in the real world, and that's not fun. Trust me. And people moan about football, and you're in that pressure. You think, oh, shut up, you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Either to play something that you love doing, or talk about something you love doing. Do tours around the Emirates. Take the fans around dressing rooms and pitch side and directors. Do corporate work for Arsenal TV. So I'm just lucky enough to be involved in football still and getting paid for it. And I've got a company with a good friend of mine, partner of mine, Josh Landy, called Play of a Legend.
Okay.
And what we do is, a big part of our business is stags and parties, for 30-year-old parties or stags on a Saturday. And instead of lads going 10-pin bowling or whitewater rafting or going on golf weekend, now a big thing is playing 6-a-side or 11-a-side on the Saturday, with their mates. And the ages now are like 25, 30. So we're talking about retro shirts, we're retro players. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So we have loads. We've got about 100 players, ranging from.
Who's the best sort of players you got on the
Well, it ranges from old has-beens like myself, Kerry Dixon, sort of Tony Cotty, Graham Roberts. Any sort of old, up to more recent ones like Teddy Sheringham and Darren Anderton, Paul Merson, Andy Cole, Robbie Fatt. They've done sort of. We've got about 100 players. So basically, it's whoever your favourite player's favourite team, you just ring us up and go, well. It could be like a big team. It could be something like Cheltenham Town, and you have a 6-a-side or 11-a-side on the Saturday for a say, and then the player goes and plays. So it's quite a wow factor because the groom or the birthday person doesn't know.
Yeah.
So they come out, they play for an hour, run around, everybody's breathing out their backsides after about 30 minutes because obviously they've been out on the lash the night before. And then our players stay for a drink in the bar afterwards, tell a few stories, have a few pints, and it works really, really well. And the idea came from Josh is a massive gooner, and one of his mates is a gooner, and they were playing at Cheshire just in a game. Said, "Oh, could you get an Arsenal player to come play?" And it was myself and Nigel Winterburn. One played on one side, one played on the other, and it was a wow because the Arsenal fan was that age group from us, from like mid-80s to 90s, and we played in the game. It's had a big buffet afterwards, and I played another couple. Played in one with Steve Sedgley, who was a Tottenham fan, against an Arsenal six-side, and Josh then went away and did a little trip to Australia. He came back, and we met up and both had this. We said, "There's a business here somewhere." We're the last probably of that old school era where it's got a connection with the fans. The fans feel like we're one of them. You've got stories to tell, and it just built and built. Now, obviously, playoflegend.com is our website. And then we've got probably over 100 players now. We've got the old record, they're all little Panini stickers, so that's pretty good. And now then it's morphed into not only doing stags and parties, and then we do fans come from China where we arrange, to have days out up at St George's Park or at the Emirates or at Anfield or at Old Trafford, anywhere, take parties around. Gone into the corporate side as well, where players go and do Q&As and after dinners. So it's still a little bit of work out there for us old has-beens, which is pretty good. And all the lads that we've got in our books are really good characters. We don't have anyone who plays and wants to shoot off. Part of it, the big part of it is having.
Or wants to 2-foot the people they're playing, 2-foot challenge to the back of the stag or something.
Oh yeah, well I must admit
Does it boil over?
Yeah, the thing is, unless someone's really busy when you're playing against them, it doesn't. You know what I mean? Because you're there. But it's the typical. Every game starts off at 100 mile an hour because people want the ball and they like that. And I say to them, just come make sure as well. We do it quite personally where we do a warm up because the last thing you want is someone pulling their hamstring or pulling their calf on. And I say, because trust me, if you don't run up, someone's going to pull their hamstring. Someone's going to, because you've been out on the lash. Do you know what I mean? Your salt in your body is probably low. Your energy levels are low. But then it starts off, and because everybody's football fans, it is always first 25 minutes, 100 mile an hour. Yeah. And then you fast forward it another 25 minutes, and it goes into walking football where you got 3 up front, 3 at the back. And then we have a penalty shootout at the end to try and replicate the little bit of nerves, because again, all football fans don't understand what nerves you go through for a penalty shootout. So we do it probably where you go and walk on your own and then take your penalties. And then go in the bar. So, and that was about 3.5, 4 years ago now. So Josh is out in China at the moment. We're trying up some business. We've got Lucas who's worked for us. We're based in Camden. So if anybody wants a player
nationwide, you could
everywhere. Yeah, and we've got links to everywhere to clubs. We do. One of the big things that we've done, we hire stadiums now at the end of the season. So it could be anything from St James's Park to Vicarage Road to Leighton Orient, and then we have 2 teams, obviously one home kit, one away kit. Again, it's retro kit, the old sort of kits. And then we have a player, like a legend from each. So we've had like Steve Ball, say for Wolves, for example, and Don Goodman, and then Crystal Palace, like sort of John Schlarko and Hayden Munnings, Southampton Mile Club, Matt Letizia, Jason Dodd, and they play in like each team. Each manage the team. So you will manage as if you're playing. Obviously, you're playing at your favourite ground. Yeah. Dressing room, all the kit's laid out. Again, manage the team, play a proper game, and then up in the bar, Norwich goes down really well. We had one at Leicester. Yeah, you get a little 6-a-side team together. I'll have to get me big Southampton kit on.
I'll play in a Luton shirt maybe.
Oh well, yeah. Well, you choose one of anyway. Luton, Southampton. Choose whichever you want.
Or Benfica.
Yeah, or the Court Jester one, the Wrexham one.
Yeah.
But and it's good, and it's about as well putting something back. Like the older players putting something back to the fans who come and watch them when they were kids.
Yeah.
And
it's good to know that there's the opportunity to do that. I mean, we'd all grow up, you see these players, you want to play with them. I mean, yeah, it sounds like a really good idea.
So, like, who's your favourite player, for instance?
I'm gonna say
from when you play, like when you used to watch.
David Beckham as a kid,
right.
David Beckham, Ryan Giggs.
That might be a tough one.
Yeah, well,
No, but even then, but from that
You've
era,
got Beckham's,
yeah, but we have like Clayton Blackmore and
Yeah.
David May comes and plays. So
Played with Blackmore.
Yeah,
we
good
lost.
lad.
We lost 9-1.
was he
so-
tanned? Yeah, Clayton's
He's
always
still
very.
got it.
He has that
He
all
played
year
it.
round tan.
He played in sunglasses.
Right, yeah, but he's still brilliant when he plays.
Yeah.
He can still.
Yeah, he's a
And
good man.
there's always a moment in the game, because it varies from people love their football but they're not very good, to people who like semi-pros or pros and they're quite good, so you get a different range. But I always say to them in a game, whether the player's a bit older like myself or a bit younger like Darren Anton, one of the players will do something, one of the pros will do something that you'll go, that's why he was a pro.
Yeah.
Whether
A little
like
touch, yeah.
where you nutmeg somebody or Merce scores from the halfway line or you bend it outside your foot or you lay something down or you control it, and then there's always that's why. And it's quite nice because there is that that moment where you go, that's it. And afterwards all the lads are characters. There's not, I think there's a dearth of characters in football at the minute, and they've all got stories because we were out before there was mobile phones, so we end up in places that we probably shouldn't have been and did things we shouldn't have done, and now we can talk about it,
Yeah.
So, and they always know what's happening behind the scenes, who do you get on, who you don't like, who do you like. So yeah, it's pretty, it's good. And most of the time, we say to players, have an hour. And in the end, it ends up with Stag Park going, look, I'm really sorry, mate. We got to shoot. We got to go somewhere else. And then some lads go with them, go to on end. It's like, look, now you're boring us. Now we got to go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it works very, very well. Yeah, it's good.
Very good. Nice. Well, thanks a lot for talking to us.
Pleasure.
Thanks for going up to Manchester. Good luck.
It's cold up here, isn't it?
It is.
It's like all the time.
Good luck with Player Legend, and cheers.
Thanks very much.
All right.
Good work.
So, hope you enjoyed that. Thanks a lot for watching. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure that you subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and see you again soon for another video. Cheers.